It's Rick without the K. James presents In My Opinion Podcast.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
Go ahead and get into this first question.
You have questions?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. I got a few questions.
I can love you like that. Go for it.
We're going to go off the first topic, which you singing, is because I took you on a date. We went to fucking Erykah Badu.
It's not what you think, but it's also a lot like kind of what you would
still
think.
owes me some booty gut now.
I'll pay for the tickets.
He said, again, for those of you that are just catching this as your first episode, he said before he goes on stage as a comedian, he listens to Erykah Badu. Mm-hmm. That caught me off guard. And at the end of that whole conversation, I said, if she ever comes to the West Coast, I'm going to take you.
Yep.
She came to the West Coast. She was here at town in
and
Oakland.
Guess what?
And I took him. When you're getting ready to do stand-up, do you because I used to put the headphones in and then feel something. Is there something you get ready
Brother,
to?
I'm going to be 100% real with you. The only music I listen to, if I'm going to like deliberately listen to music before stand-up, is what I typically listen to when I'm just chilling, and that is Erykah Badu.
Nice.
Erykah Badu is she speaks to my soul directly, bro. I love Erykah Badu on everything, and that's really what I listen to. I love hip-hop. Hip-hop is like an activity. For me, Erykah Badu is just like a vibe, you know?
One of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Erykah Badu?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had the privilege to go to one.
And
floor
seats,
off, son.
Let me first say that this was the happiest I've ever seen Rudy. Was on a different level. And I will say, I'm going to give my aspect of the show and then you can give yours.
All right, go for it.
First off, I didn't expect the show to be a production.
Right. What did you expect?
I expected, I've gone to other concerts, I expected a microphone and a person singing.
That's it.
Okay. I didn't expect.
No band. DJ.
No, I didn't expect her to be the DJ. I didn't expect her to come out with a drum machine. I didn't expect the outfits,
right?
The photos in the background, the videos. All like it was just a production,
right?
And it was well worth every dollar that I spent.
Visuals were great, man.
It was perfect. And it was good to be there with someone that also enjoyed the music too.
Oh yeah.
As I said off camera,
soundtrack of my life
is to me, music is something that I have to have on no matter what I'm doing. If I'm exercising, music. If I'm cleaning, music. If I'm cooking, music.
Yes.
I have to have the music on. So to me, music means something else. Like it's an outer body experience for me to have a certain type of music on. And then when I went to go watch this with you, it was cool because I saw you vibing. I saw you getting in, like you wasn't even paying attention to what was going around you. You was just in the zone. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here like, not only am I watching you, but I'm watching everybody else in the audience. I'm watching the show. I'm trying to take some videos. We'll put some clips up for you guys of shit.
Give y'all one more chance. Let that shit go right now. Let's go.
And all I really wanted to go for was Next Lifetime. I know everybody wanted to hear Jerome and a bunch of other things,
I guess
right?
I'll see you next lifetime.
That's it, Jerome Tyrone, right?
Jerome, I think you better call. Jerome be like, who's this? I don't know no Erykah.
Started thinking of Martin Lawrence and Jerome in the house. I said Jerome in the But I was waiting for that song, and I'm glad she played it, and it was cool for me because, again, for me, I know when I met my baby mama, she didn't give me a time of day, so I played that shit for like, on a loop in my barracks.
First time that I saw you, it was a warm and sunny day. All I know is I wanted you. I didn't hold you my way. It found in me those words I could not speak.
How was your experience from top to bottom?
My first time ever seeing Erykah Badu live, so it was like an extra special treat for me because I was like, this is dope as fuck, first time ever. And then we get in there, and I was also blown away by the fact that it was a much more visual show than I had expected. I knew the music was going to be great. I knew she was going to be great. Like, I had no doubt about that, but I didn't understand how big of a visual show it was going to be. The entire backdrop of the stage was just one big ass screen that was playing all these like psychedelic ass pictures and short little videos, and it was just adding to the whole scene, because Erykah Badu, like, she already operates in that space, so now you have the visuals to match the audio.
Were you mad that you weren't on shrooms?
I wasn't mad, but I definitely could see how, like, if I would have been, with all the other aspects of shrooms needing to be in line for you to have a good time, you know what I'm saying? If everything was lined up for me to have a good time, that would have been a great show to fucking be shroomed out on while you're watching. Phenomenal show.
Definitely.
Yeah. So she was incredible. I was extremely, satisfied with what I got out of my first experience out of seeing her. I've always loved Badu, and it's like this just really solidified it for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, she's incredible. Even at 52 live performances, still doing these fucking classic songs, and her fans are. She got a strong fan base, bro. Erykah Badu, like, people fuck with her, man.
Well, I think because she is the queen of neo soul.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think, excuse me, that's what people went there for.
Yep.
But before she even got on stage, what'd you think about the pre-show?
With Yasin Bey,
Yeah,
AKA Mos Def.
Yeah, I know him as Mos Def.
I mean, I kept on calling him Mos Def all night long. I hope he didn't mind.
I screamed out, "Show me your butthole" to him.
You did, which I don't know how incorporated that was to the show itself. I think that was more of like a you thing. You just really wanted to see some butthole, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he was fine. He was fine. Like, he wasn't. Look, listen, man. Like, when I see Yasin Bey, I'm trying to get into his new lane. But I know Mos Def, and it's like I'm accustomed to hearing Mos Def's sound and the approach and the style. And there was some of it in the performance, but not fully. But I mean, he didn't lose me though. Yasin Bey didn't lose me.
Did you expect his performance to be the way it was?
No, it was definitely different at the end. It was a lot more eccentric than what I expect from one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Now, why do you think it wasn't what you were expecting? Because I'm asking because we kind of had this conversation that night.
I mean, because it's not Mos Def, and it's like I want to hear that person, Yasin Bey, who we know now as Yasin Bey. I want to hear him just spit that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the person that we all fell in love with. It was Mos Def, And I know that he's moving on and shit, but man, it's like, I guess I just gotta. The message of this from the artist is like, hey man, if you want my old shit, go listen to it. But I'm doing new shit now. So that must be the artist's message right there.
I felt as if the reason he did newer shit and was he was like, you kind of made, well, you didn't make the comment, but it was the way I heard it was like, who is this dude from Berkeley? Like
right.
Like, he was that just every black dude that you've ever met from Berkeley lasts like 5 years.
I mean,
right? But it was on some. But I felt like it might have been requested from the headliner to vibe that way.
I don't think so, man. I think Mos Def, aka Yasin Bey, aka Mos Def. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that that's just the direction that he's going in as an artist, because he's always been a very serious artist, and even as an actor, like, he's an actor as well. You know what I mean? So I think he's got a lot more to him than those of us that fell in love with him as Mos Def think that he has. And now that he's doing Yasin Bey, and you saw how the performance was. There was a lot of dancing on his part. There's some singing, and I'm like, okay, this is not the same type of artist. It's a person who's evolved. This is the remnants of Mos Def going into Yasin Bey, and then going into whatever that turns into. You know, and you just have to kind of like accept it. You know, like that. These are what artists want to do. This is the position that artists want to take. They want to grow. Can't keep them the same forever.
I mean, I loved his dancing. So.
Did you though? Because you were laughing pretty hard though.
I mean, the way he threw them rose petals was dope, bro.
Yeah,
like,
there was so many rose petals. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He really blessed that stage.
I felt like, what was that movie with Will Ferrell? Old School.
Old School, yeah.
Like I felt like he needed one of those ribbon things.
Yeah. Oh,
that was the feeling that
yeah,
that he was out there with. I mean, he came out. He tagged up the DJ booth.
Right.
It was horrible graffiti. Like you would have thought for someone who grew up in NY would have caught on.
Had something better.
Yeah. And it
thought it out a little
and
bit.
we didn't even know that was him for a minute.
Yeah.
And we were like, who's this guy writing?
But I mean, we didn't know it was who though. We didn't know it was who. Mos Def?
Yeah.
It's not Mos Def though. That's what I'm saying. Like that's we have to accept that as fans. We got to be like,
well,
this guy's moving on.
I didn't know it was him at all.
You didn't know it was Yasin Bey either.
No.
Yeah. But now when you see that long ass shirt, that long ass U-neck with the fucking
it's
that
as
robe.
if he just was in one of the last scenes of Malcolm X when he went to Egypt and went to like he was just, I don't know. It was I think for me it was different because I've seen him before. He performed in San Francisco and Chris Riggins got me in, and it was one of the dopest shows that I've seen. So I was anticipating it to be like that. Yeah. But again, I think it was more of a hip hop show when it was his show. He was the headliner and this and that. And that's why, again, I felt like it was probably a request. I'm not saying it was, but I'm making that assumption because I feel like sometimes, even in comedy, how many times have we seen the headliner that brings on the feature that's crappy and they do it on purpose? Or they dumb down like, hey, we know you're funny, but this ain't... People are here to see me.
But are you suggesting that Mos Def is not on the same level as Erykah Badu? I think Mos Def is highly regarded amongst people that love rap and rappers.
I think if it was a show that was based around rap, yeah. But I think it was more of an R&B neo soul show, and that's the feel they wanted for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Mos Def doesn't exist anymore, and now it's Yasin Bey. Like that's who he is now. So it's like Mos Def isn't gonna. I mean, I guess Mos Def could pop up if Yasin Bey chooses to bring him up and like just start spitting hella bars in the middle of his fucking dancing and all this shit, you know. Like, but right now as the fans, I guess we just have to accept that this is who he is.
Well, let's just hope that it was.
Why do you want Mos Def to come back so much though?
Because he was prolific, bro. He was an MC.
He's so prolific that he turned into somebody else. That's who he is now.
All right, well then I will send this message out to other MCs.
Don't do this shit.
Yeah, please, Method Man, stay Method Man. All right, like if I see you going around throwing rose petals, I'm gonna be like, I'm never listening to Wu-Tang Clan ever.
I mean,
again.
I was like, why so many rose petals though? So many? You have to bless.
It was a little too much for me. Yeah, and it got to a point for me where I was just like, when's Erykah coming on? Right. That's all.
Luckily, she came up right after him.
Yeah.
So it was good.
And she put on, I mean, she did almost every song that you wanted. And she did a cover of Snoop Dogg.
Y'all say, Spirit, what you say? Spirit, what you say? Spirit, just brother, look at me in my eyes. Spirit just wants you to remember that when I met you last night, baby.
She missed one big ass song that I was really looking forward to. It's a song called Yayo. And she alluded to it for like, 3 or 4 seconds, because when she was at the top of, when she went to the top of the stage and she was sitting on that couch at the top of the stage, she went up there for a couple of songs, and right before she started her set up there, she alluded to the song Yayo. She said, Yayo, Yayo. And everybody who knows that song knows that that's the intro to it. So it's like, but then that's all she played, and then she moved on. Wow. I know. I was hoping she would fucking bust it out, bro, because that was like one of the main reasons I wanted to see her live. Because I love that song, and she didn't play it, but it's all good though. She still was. Well,
I will say this though, because you've also heard how certain artists aren't as good live as they are on the album.
Yes.
And whoever the sound engineer was that night too,
fucking did his thing.
On point. Mm-hmm. On point. It was like it was hearing the angel's voice that night.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving a Erykah Badu live performance?
20.
Nice.
Yeah.
It really did feel really like the energy was so dope.
I went in with different expectations, and she exceeded them and blew them out the water.
The energy was so dope that night, man. I think even just going into the arena, the Oakland Arena, even just going in there was like, it felt good, you know? Had like a positive vibe in there. Got to our seats. Everybody was smoking, drinking before the show, you know what I'm saying? And then Yasin Bey came out, and everybody was like, oh, yeah, okay, you know, Mos Def.
Yeah, and I was balling so much that I bought all the seats on both the rows, right?
You did, though, bro. You might as well have.
We just got lucky that nobody sat next to us at all, or Rob and Judy behind us.
Bro, that was a great night, man. That was a great night. That was a phenomenal way to be introduced to the first live show that I've ever seen of Erykah Badu performing live. Phenomenal.
So shout out to Erykah Badu. Hopefully you're enjoying the shirt.
I love you. Thank you.
Hey man, Rick James. That's the one you think. The comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying. I can't breathe.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.